Hello friends, welcome to 24/7 Yoga Mats vlog. Today we have with us Roche Kilian. He's a personal coach, the creator of the training program Arcade 400 and Men's Health magazine cover. So let's go for it.
So welcome Roche. Thank you so much. So let's go straight to the topic. Your Men's Health magazine cover, incredible transformation in your body. Yoga speaks about Mitahara, which is moderation in diet. What is for you moderation in diet? What idea comes to your head?
Well, I mean, moderation in a diet is really important. I think it's one of the most important things in a diet, actually. If you restrict yourself from certain types of food, you tend to want things more. So moderation, just eating healthy food on a daily basis, and just getting all the nutrients in that you need is perfect. It's a perfect diet, and you can use that diet as a lifestyle. It doesn't have to be like a diet, but a lifestyle. So when you have moderation in foods, you don't have to see having something bad as a cheat. You can just see it as working into your lifestyle.
So you spoke about that, not seeing something bad as a cheat, like not being too restrictive. Any key for success, any tips or tricks from your personal experience to be successful in nutrition or managing the nutrition?
Yeah, for me, for instance, when I started losing the weight, I restricted a lot of things out of my diet the first 2 weeks, which was a bad idea because I started becoming hungry more often and craving bad things. So nutrition-wise, what I did was I used calorie counting as a big advantage, and I set myself a goal of 2,500 calories a day, and I worked healthy, nutritious food into that one day. And eventually, as I lost weight, I started decreasing the calorie intake, and eventually that made me more free to explore different types of foods, whether it's fruit, which people say that's not healthy because there's sugar inside, but it's healthy sugar, which is good for your body.
So actually your case is very interesting because you overcame eating disorder. And some people out there may be thinking, okay, I'm going through that, how can I get out of there? Do you have any, what helped you to overcome that?
Well, firstly, what I did was I accepted the fact that I had an eating disorder. That's the main thing. Most people eat and they enjoy their food and they don't realize that they're only overeating or they're only binge eating because of an emotional problem that they may have inside or something that they experienced in the past that's still in their conscious mind, subconscious mind. So the first thing I would say is accept the fact that you have a problem with eating. There's nothing wrong with that. And once you accept it, you can work forward into obviously working on it yourself. And getting a balanced diet is the first thing. Going to exercise, whether indoor, outdoor, meet a bunch of friends, they can help you and motivate you. That's also the big thing, is to surround yourself with people that are motivating you to get out of that situation.
So you were telling about having a supportive environment,
Yes.
And you spoke about acceptance, which is a very big topic in yoga also. And the emotional component of eating. So in your case, how was that emotional situation grabbing you or dragging you into the food problem now?
Yeah, you asked me if the emotions, bad feelings that I had, why that drew me to food.
Yeah, how was that getting you into the food thing?
Yeah, you see, what happened first is you start thinking about you having back problems, whether it's depression, anxiety, insecurity, anything like that. Right? And the first thing which some people do, it's not necessarily with food. Yeah. Some take alcohol, some use drugs, but the most common thing, because we need food in our daily lives. So the first thing you go to would be food, and sometimes you don't get attached, but most cases, when you have the food, for some reason you feel good after having, especially when it comes to sugar or treats.
Yeah,
sugar is almost, they say sugar rush is almost the same as cocaine, which is a drug that people use. It has the same stimulant. So you have a lot of sugar, your brain functions in a different way and you feel good about yourself. So every time you feel bad, you tend to go to food. And that's what caught me. That's why I used to have cookies and sweets every single night.
You got quite big.
I got quite big. I think I took about 20 kilograms in a year, in 1 year. Yes.
And then you had a supporting that you spoke also about that environment that helped you. Like how did you start? How did you start going out?
Okay, this is pure force from I don't even know where. It was getting to a point where your back was against the wall. And my back was against the wall. I was in China at the moment, and I couldn't afford the gym.
Yeah.
I couldn't afford really good nutritional food.
Yeah.
So I could only eat out or buy dumplings in the street.
Yeah.
And but the food that I used to eat, the meats and all the raw food, were expensive. So I had to realize the fact that either I need to eat healthier food, which is more cheaper, like all your greens, your vegetables, and those type of things, and I need to work out at home. So that, in combination with the will to just be something better, all of that combined made me, pushed me to start that program. And what I did is every day I remember behind the door, don't tell the agency, but behind the door I used to mark on the wall every single day that gone past that I did not have any bad foods and that I had a workout every single day. And eventually, before I knew it, 30 days has gone past, and I looked in the mirror and things were drastically changing.
Like you were getting accountable with that, and you were tracking progress, which is also.
I think it's really important if you do track your progress, because sometimes you forget how long a day is or how long a month is, and if you don't track it, you'll feel like after 2 days of healthy eating feels like 1 month of healthy eating. You know,
yeah.
So you feel that you can give up quicker, but once you actually realize that you've only done 3 days because you've been tracking it, it makes it more difficult, of course, but the willpower to carry on will do the thing again.
So going to that, we have spoken of how the emotional situation, how the mindset affects in the way we eat, and sometimes they can do bad habits. But how is the opposite also happening? Because you notice something when you started eating healthy. Did you notice that changing the mindset also? How was your mind?
Yeah, of course. This is probably the best thing that I would want you to chase if you are down. If your back is against the wall, like I said previously, you feel that there's nothing else, and your mind is negative, you have bad thoughts all the time. But I can promise you this, that when you do change your mind, when you do chase a better lifestyle for yourself, not only with eating healthy, but with dealing with good people around you and friends, your mind becomes open to something much better. You become a more positive person, in a sense where not only your body changes physically, but outside you meet people with more humbleness and humility, and you're not insecure anymore, so your confidence starts blooming out, not only because you can take your shirt off in the sun, but just the fact that you have control over your mind. Because if you cannot choose what you eat, then your mind is in control of yourself, of you. But when you can say no and use your willpower to say no to your mind and be in control of the mind, then of course it's something good. Of course you can gain control, and from there it's endless possibilities what you can do with your mind, because you are the master.
Yeah. Controlling the mind. Actually, it's about controlling the mind. So, which advice would you have for people who is wanting to make that change, live in a healthy lifestyle, but they say I'm too busy, I have too many responsibilities, I cannot do that. Any something that would help?
Yes.
Or how to make those?
Of course, the reason when you were in your introduction where you said I have my own program called the RK400, and I'm really proud of this program because it's not something that takes a lot of time. It came up when I also did not have enough time. And I remember with the men's health company that I did, I was still working a 9-to-5 job. So it is definitely not impossible, and the best advice I could give is, with the program I'm currently doing also, is only 20-25 minutes of workouts during the day. It's simple workouts, you don't have to go on the gym. It's just like getting up and moving, basically just moving. If you are not a really active sports person, I would just suggest to just take a walk. 20 minutes, a nice fast-paced walk every single day, and the difference you'll see is astounding. And you can just ask from there, you can ask people for exercises, push-ups, sit-ups, and squats are your basic home training exercises. You see them everywhere in the world. And I think that if you just do that for 10-15 minutes every day before you shower, you'll see drastic changes.
Yeah, because this is very important. I want to stress that like you prepare your men's magazine cover while you were working 9 to 5. You were all day just dedicated to training. You were working hard, and then you were preparing hard.
So what I basically did is every morning I woke up at 5 a.m. in the morning. Because I had to be at work at 7:30, the only time to actually do something was either in the morning or at 6:30 when I come back home. Yeah. So you'll leave in the morning at night and you come home in the morning at the night when it's dark as well. So it's difficult, and I must say it's not an easy thing to do. You know, it's not, I'm going to work out in the morning and at night and I'm going to change my life. It has to take a lot of willpower, a lot of discipline, and persistence in order to get the results you want over time. And the way I did it in the morning, or in the whole process of losing the weight and gaining a healthier body, is creating habits, good ones, where, for instance, I would tell myself that I have to run in the morning before I can have breakfast to go to work. And at night, when I come back, I had to go to the gym in order to get my dinner as a reward. So I don't want people to stop, of course, but it's a basic thing where you connect your two habits. So link one habit with the other habit. So for instance, you can also say, because you're working out, you sweat. So you can just say that every time that you go to the shower, you need to work out 15-20 minutes before.
So hopefully people will do more exercise, will not stop having shower.
Yeah, of course.
So you're writing, I was tell us about the book you were writing.
Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about this book for about 3 to 4 years. When I started modeling and I got to make some cover, everything was good. But then, which most people don't know, is I went through the phase of binge eating and depression and insecurity and anxiety after the copy. So people would see the copy, but I would hide in my room because I don't want, I don't want to come out, and when they see my body, they see my attitude, and they relate, well, what happened to him? So, and that created a lot of insecurity. I would leave the house, and I would start eating, I had this eating disorder. And what I did was, in this depression state, I felt all the emotions possible. And I'm writing about all those physical emotions: loneliness, depression, insecurity, anxiety, unhappiness, all that stuff. Everything that I went through, I felt like in 2 years, I had all this knowledge that I feel that I have, all these emotions. And I just want to relate to people. I'm writing this book called 25,000 Days to Live. And what it's about is to make sure, especially writing with 24-hour maths as well, to use those 24 hours every single day as best as possible, because you only have a certain number of days. We will eventually kick the bucket. We can't say, they said the one game that they said we can never win is life, because you won't get out alive. You cannot get out of life alive. You will obviously possibly. So this book, I'm saying all the negative things in chapters, and hopefully that can help people not only know about depression, but they can learn from it and hopefully overcome it as well.
So why did I do 25,000?
25,000 days, 25,000 days to live. I was lying in bed on a skinny mattress here in India about a year ago, and I thought of it, I didn't think of a name, it just came out to me where I realized that if I had to live if I had to be 70 years old, then, and I just thought 70 years sounds so close, my father's 60, you know? So I just worked out the days, how many days that would be, and I ended up with 25,550 days. But when you start thinking on a daily basis, you'll start realizing every morning you wake up, there's one day left. It's not 25,000 anymore, it's 24,999 days. And so every day you start waking up, a month has passed, there's 30 days gone. And once you realize that the days actually tick off, and I don't want to scare people that you're going to die, of course, but the realization that you are going to die needs to motivate you to live life.
Exactly. That our nature is very shallow of our physicality. And that sometimes we live it for tomorrow. Yoga philosophy is very clear about that you have to live the present, do your duty, and don't let the things for tomorrow.
And also the title is not 25,000 days before you die.
It's
25,000 days to live your life. You know, it's not about you all doing this to live your life in 25,000 days.
So before closing this nice interview, this nice time we're having with you,
thank you.
Some last words, last advice, something to take home for the 24/7 community.
Yes, of course. You know, basically, my advice to everyone from the 24/7 Yoga is to live every single day with positive energy. You know, creating good habits is really important. Being around people that motivate you, that love you, staying away from people that drag you down, you know, because you are what you eat and you are who you hang out with. So if you have bad people in your life, they will easily influence you to do the bad things as well.
Protect yourself. No?
Exactly.
Sometimes you cannot stay away from them, but at least try to.
Exactly, yes. So basically, it's all about being a kind person, having good habits, discipline, staying persistent, and just surrounding yourself with good people. I think that is probably the best advice that I can give.
So, thank you so much, Roche. Thank you. See you next time.
Thank you so much.